Okay, looks like I might be back. At least on my end, things are looking okay. Um, cool. Chris says I am back. So that is good to get that confirmation. Let me just make sure things are okay on my end. Get my little cheat sheet out. And I'll get started. Okay, hi. Hi there. I'm Joshua. Today is January 22nd, 2017, and today I'm working, as always, on my video game Delver. Again, you can see the game's website behind my head here. It's delvergame.com. Delver is a procedural fantasy dungeon crawler, roguelike RPG, first-person shooter video game for your home computer, PC, Mac, Linux, and we even have an Android build, but it's a little out of date. We are in early access, so you can support us on Steam if that's your thing. You can also buy, there's a Humble widget if that's also your thing. You get a Steam key through the Humble widget. Um, Delver is a passion project. There are two of us working on it. Again, I'm Joshua. I'm the art guy. I do the 2D, 3D art. I do level design. Oh, I mean, since we're two people, we do a lot of different things. Wear lots of different hats. The other half of Delver is a gentleman named Chad, and he is the primary programmer and designer, and he does level design also, and whatever else needs done. Okay. So hey, chat. Hey, everybody who is here to hang out with me. Um, let's get going. One of the first things I usually do is kind of just touch base on. Let me see. What kind of happened the past week of development? So let me bring up a command prompt. Let me position it so you can actually see what's going on here. Let me go to my repositories. And I'm just going to do a git log. And this is in the, if I do a git status, you can see this is the main branch of our development. We typically, for those of you who know how GitHub works, typically you work in branches, which are different versions of the code base. We typically have two. We have a master branch, which we publish out of, and we have a development branch, which we primarily work out of. Um, Also, if we are doing work that may destabilize the other person, we typically make a feature branch off of develop and then merge it back in. This is kind of our Git strategy, if you are so inclined. So I'll do a Git status on both develop today and also on the branch that I'm working out. Well, actually, I put my stuff in different repos, so we can look at that separately. But if we look here, let me copy my shortcut. It's just it's a Git log with some pretty printing, and the delta is since last week, since that's kind of where we last left off. And looking at this, Chad has been very busy, which is cool. Updating Git and ignore, that's just project stuff. That's just making sure that the source code that we do uh, do keep track of is the correct one. Um, he looks like he removed the Christmas tree. I know folks liked it, but I think it's nice to have these little seasonal things. This is really exciting. So Chad created a custom file picker, which replaces the native dialogue. So for folks on Windows who kept getting the delve edit had frozen. This should fix that. Since we're not relying on a native modal dialogue anymore, this should help with that. Let's see. Okay, yeah, so it used to be, so now delve edit should show in the title the name of the room you're working on, which is cool because that's helpful sometimes, especially when you're working with lots of rooms. This was a bug that I had filed and Chad fixed, so that's cool. Tweaks to the boss level, exciting. I have no idea what it's about, but that's cool. This also should help some folks out too. If your texture atlas, so sometimes we potentially, if the sprite sheet is not big enough, the render would crash saying that it couldn't find the correct sprite. So now what we do is, that if you've ever seen that dreaded pink graphics error um, texture, now we're going to drop that in instead. So rather than having Delver bail out, we'll just show you graphics errors on the stuff that we can't find sprites for, which I think is a better is a better way to handle things than to bail. I mean, visually it won't look as pretty, but at least it will help us kind of troubleshoot what's broken, right? Continuing my stream, Chad's continuing his work on the Steam Workshop integration. I think that, I mean, this is a big task. This is why we set aside this entire update just to work on Steam Workshop integration to make sure that it works well and it's good, a good integration. And then he's working on a prototype for a mod uploader. Again, more work on the upload stuff. More improvements on the dialogue for the uploader. Finished mod uploader. So you use Delve. So I think our current strategy right now is you'll use Delve Edit to make levels and rooms, and you'll also use Delve Edit to upload mods to the workshop. So hopefully that works well. There's also, I think now we're going to require a metadata file in your mod folder. I'm not sure if the format on that is solidified yet, but that's just something to be aware of. And then adding some quality of life tweaks to the mod uploader. So I really am excited to take a peek at this. But the problem is for some odd reason my it wasn't building for me. So I decided, 15 minutes before I started streaming, try to fix it. And I don't think it's fixed yet, but hopefully you guys don't mind suffering with me while I try to troubleshoot my build environment a little bit. And if you guys are IntelliJ experts, I could certainly use your help. So let's take a look at, looks like chat's talking about stuff. Cool. Pertup Gap says they have to go. Well, I'm glad you joined it for the very beginning of my stream. Guy says missed the beginning of the stream. Not really. I mean, you missed the introduction, but you caught the rundown of the last week's changes. Let me see. Okay. Also, let me think. I'm not sure if I made any changes to my language stuff in a while. I think I've mostly just been working on example mod content, which is fun. Let me pop over real quick to my feature language support. Okay. Let me just do get status, and now I'm on my feature language support branch. And if I do a git log here, have I done any work in the last week? Let's see. I may have. Yeah. So I think this is maybe from last stream, but some of the I kind of lose track of when I stream now because I'm trying to be better about doing bonus streams. So for those of you who don't know, this is my regular Sunday stream. I do it every Sunday at noon. And then throughout the week, I try to do bonus streams, and I'm getting better about that. And maybe I should just eventually try to figure out like a set time so it's easier for you folks to plan. But typically throughout the week, when my son goes to daycare, I try to do a little development. I try to stream that. So some native Turkish speakers said that apparently the dotless I character was a little too short, and they helped me fix that because for a lot of these characters that are outside of the English like alphabet, I can look at them and draw them, but I don't know necessarily which parts are important. And because it is pixel art and the fonts are small, like every pixel really matters. So having native speakers of different of languages really helps me shore up these issues. Also, because our serializer supports both JSON and their version of a min JSON, I went ahead and made the strings.dat. I made it into just a standard JSON file, so you can use JSON validators and beautifiers on the web to figure out if you have any mistakes, which is super helpful. Yeah, so now also on the language support, potentially we can look at all the different translations that we find in the mods and smash them together. So this won't mean you'll get multiple languages because the last one loaded will win. But what this does will ensure that as the developers of Delver, we will provide the English strings for everything. And people who, like the modders who maintain the language packs, if we add new strings, we won't break them. So it'll load all the English strings, and then it will replace the ones that the translators provided with the various translations. So this is just a little bit of future proofing. And let me see, blah, blah, blah. And then I did one evening I did a lot of the grunt work and I went through so all the main menus from the beginning now can be translated, which is pretty cool. It wasn't super interesting, which is why I didn't stream it. I just went ahead and just listen to some music podcasts and just kind of worked my way through that. Guy is asking how long am I going to stream today? So my plan is to stream for 3 hours. Usually I commit to 2, but today I'm doing 3 because I have a little bit of extra time. So yeah, there's still plenty of stream left. Okay, that was that branch. So this is my work on the language support. And then also, I am working on my example mod stuff, and I haven't actually committed stuff to that yet. So maybe so my example mod, I started working on an example mod on how to do a custom dungeon area. And that's been a lot of fun, and I'll probably continue on that. But first things first, I need to get my build environment working again. For those of you who aren't familiar with software development, when I say build environment, what I mean is the setup for my machine to build the project from source code. So this includes required things such as like Java, because our projects are written in Java. It also requires any third-party dependencies, stuff like that. That's making sure my build environment is correct. So let's pull open that. Import Gradle project. That's what I want to do. Import, do it. Auto import. Okay. For some odd okay, maybe this will work and maybe it will be a non-issue. For some odd reason, when I so I was having issues getting so when Chad added the Steam workshop supports, we added another dependency, and a dependency is just a piece of software or code that is not written by us. It's considered third party as a dependency. And for some odd reason, my build was not actually acquiring the dependency as it should be. So sometimes when in doubt, you just delete all of your source code and then you reclone it from source control, which is what I've done. And let's take a peek. That looks right. That looks right. Gradle. That looks good. So I need to create a new configuration. I need to add a Java application. The main class is desktop starter. For those of you who know, if you set --debug equals true, this will give you the developer menu. I think this is all I need to set. Let me hit apply and OK. And then it should do a full build, which will take a few moments, but hopefully not terribly long. Let me edit this configuration and let me call this desktop. That's kind of what we refer to because we have two. So this project structure has two applications, two executables we build. One is the actual game itself, and one is the editor. So, are you doing stuff? Desktop, go. I think my configuration is not quite set up correctly. So I need to add working directory. Or I think it might actually be class path, not deleted, a Dungeoneer main. And I think I need to set this to Dungeoneer because this is where it looks for all the assets and stuff. So I think that should be right. So let me hit apply. Okay. It's still complaining. If I run it, what does it say? It might be actually building the project. So let's see if I got things figured out. Let me see. Configurations, desktop starter. Should be desktop main. Did I not have the right? Did I have Dungeoneer main and not desktop? Sorry, I haven't set up my project in a while. Yeah! All right, that's what it's supposed to. That's what it's supposed to do. Okay. Guy says, why is the game internally called Dungeoneer? I believe the original prototype that Chad initially started working on 4 years ago was called Dungeoneer. And that's just the namespace we've kept since then, even though I think he renamed it to Delver. Okay, so now I need to create a configuration for delve edit. So let me just copy that configuration and call it delve edit. I need to change it though. So let's edit that. Let's say it's not desktop starter, but it is Dungeoneer dot. This should be delve edit main. This should be editor starter. Yep. I think that's still correct. Apply. Why are you giving me a red squiggle? Oh. Let me try to do it again. Okay. There we go. Apply okay. That is a question for Chad. So Pertev Gap is asking why it was called Delver. File, edit, view. Oh, crap! I'm on the wrong branch. Let me try this again. So let me switch branch to develop, and then hopefully it rebuilds just fine. So you have a Gradle build going on down here, which is what it should be doing because we've added a new dependency. I believe we use I believe what we're using is the dependency is called Steam for J, which is a Steam API binding for Java, which is I believe an open source project that any Java developer can use. Okay, so controllers, crap. This, unfortunately, these are some little hiccups that happen sometimes in our build system. Let me see if this, sweet. Okay, let me try. There we go. Yeah, so a lot of times from source control, sometimes you have these weird interleavings of how things get built. And if we just do a clean and then rebuild it, things seem to straighten themselves out. So now let's see the new editor and see what it looks like. Cool, so this must be the name of the new level. File, edit, test level. This all looks good. New, cancel, file, open. Nice. Okay, so it's not as fancy as the native ones, but this will definitely show up, and it should work just fine. So that's awesome that that Chad has this working again, which is very important. I'm not quite sure how we would submit this to Steam. Cancel. Let me just take a peek at the changes in the source code and see if I can suss out some of the changes there. Or maybe sometimes it's easier just to talk to the person who implemented something to figure out how it works, right? So let's look at. There's a upload mod dialog. There's a prototype mod uploader, an editor frame. Maybe I'm not launching this correctly because I assume that if we are connecting to the Steam API, then um, it ought to somehow authenticate, right? It should know how. I'm not sure if I have to run this through how it knows if it's me or not. Again, these might be questions I need to ask Chad. Um, upload dialog, upload. New level menu. Nope. Editor UI. Yeah, so I'm not entirely sure where it lives. This might be a question for Chad, and it might be something that is just wrong with my environment. Open. Because I don't see anything new, right? These are all the edit things. These all look fine. Yeah. Yep, I'll have to talk to Chad to see how that works. So until then, I'll just go ahead and continue my work on my example mod, which should be cool. So let's let me see. And actually, I have a change in my other branch I should probably port over real quick. So let's look at language support. And I think I have a change in I changed the editor at one point in time. I'm trying to figure out where that was. I certainly hope I committed that. Editor frame, and then here. Yeah, let me just copy this over because this is what allows the editor to actually pull in the mod content I was defining. So let me just copy this. This goes line 374 replaces that. So let's switch back to develop. Let's open up. I think it was edit, editor frame. Go to line 374. Yes, it's this right here that needs to be changed. So ooh. Okay. Hmm. Okay, cool. So that should bring over those changes. So and I think I also need to copy over the contents because I think I deleted it last stream, so I could actually just play vanilla Delver without my mods. But typically, how you do it is, for example, I have my dungeon floor lives here, and Joshua. So these are where my assets live. So this is my root of Delver. I just need to create a new folder called mods, and then I can just copy and paste my mod into that. And the Steam Workshop will actually simplify a lot of this. But if you are still making a mod, so this is an easy way to do it. And then now I should be able to launch Delve Edit. Okay. Same thing. Not sure why it's complaining about that, but let's just do Delve Edit, tasks, build, clean. And then that should kick off another build. Let's try cleaning the desktop project. Is that what it needs? Oh, goodness. I had this straightened out, but I guess switching branches broke it again. Desktop tasks. Oh, goodness. Yeah, I mean, fighting a build system is never a good time. Sorry, folks, I apologize. Let me just try cleaning the room. Also, in doubt, I can try opening a project up again. Yeah, it's still not liking that. Yeah. Yeah. Being a software engineer does certainly help troubleshooting some of these things. Yeah, to be honest, I wouldn't ask a like a level designer or an artist to build from source. I would give them an actual stable binary. But it just so happens that my background is in software engineering, so not a big deal. That just doesn't seem to be doing what I think it's doing. Yeah, and I guess Kirk is correct in pointing out that a lot of game development is not super sexy. A lot of it is kind of not great. It's just work, right? It's um, sometimes if I do this, sometimes I can do something like um, if I switch around the dependencies, um, that's enough to trigger a rebuild from Gradle. Nope. Wait. Wait. Does this look? It's maybe. Yes. Yeah. So unfortunately, that is also a reality of game development. Is because we are building systems on top of systems built on top of other systems. Sometimes things are a little tricky. So yeah. So in theory, what I did is I switched around the order of our dependencies, which really shouldn't change anything. But it's working now, so yay. Oh, it looks like Chad just joined the stream too, which is really cool. Because I did have questions about the Steam Workshop uploader. Um, maybe you can educate everybody on how the uploader works in its current implementation, because I can't see it anywhere, and I'm wondering if there's something I need to do to make sure that I'm actually running this thing with my with my Steam identity. Okay, but this is at least working again. Um, so I can open a level. Sweet. Yep. Levels, test level, load. Sweet. Here we go. Here's our sci-fi delver. which is what I'm probably gonna work on a little bit today. I think it's fun to have an example mod that kind of touches all the different things that you would might want to do when you are uh, making uh, your own stuff. Yeah, Chad, I do have Steam running in the background. Um, that was somebody chatting with me. Is there anything special I have to do to to make this go? Yeah, and of course there's always the lag. Okay. Yeah, I'm not sure. Yeah, I just noticed the view roll myself. I'm not sure how long it's been in there. Sometimes Chad sneaks stuff in like that. Yeah, it's not too crazy, but it's nice. I guess it makes the player have a little bit more weight, which I think is cool. I'm still not seeing it, Chad. Maybe I'm being a dummy, but I'm not seeing it. Yeah, I think what the folks are referring to when they say view rolling is if you notice when I walk side to side, the camera will tilt just a little bit, just a little bit. It's very subtle, but it's enough that folks notice, which is cool. Again, it adds just a little bit more. Yeah. So Chris nailed it. Yeah, yeah. You just lean a little bit while strafing, and it looks like you lean into the strafe, which is cool. Yeah, I mean, that's one of the things about game development is it's just these hundreds of little tiny touches. Um, yeah, let me exit Steam and then let me reload it because yeah, I think I got my build running actually before. Um, the Steam was already running when I got the Steam API stuff going. So let me just relaunch that. Again, unfortunately, I'm exposing you folks to some of the realities of game dev and the fickleness of all these components we're stapling together. So Steam's still thinking about it. Sweet. We're back. And now let's run delve edit. Is it Chad, is it a top level menu here? Okay. Hey Chad, where's a good place I could throw a breakpoint just to verify that this is actually working? Yep, here he goes. Okay. Yep. He's thinking the exact same thing I'm thinking. Steam Editor API Java. Init function. Cool. All right. Oh, you have to run it in debug mode, Joshua. I guess I, I guess unfortunately I'm spoiled by years of Visual Studio, which you don't have to do a separate run or debug. It just does the correct thing. Okay, that doesn't look like it's getting called. Let me. Sure. Let's debug that. Okay. So step into, step over. So the Steam API to API, let's look at this. Is it a static? Yeah. It is, it's not null. That's good. We got something back. Let's step into this. Okay. I'm not sure why I didn't like the breakpoint there. Let me see. Try. Okay. Starting Steam API, that looks fine. Okay, started equals false. Could not start Steam API. All right, let's try this again. Okay. So this library path is null. I mean, that's what we just passed into it, so that's okay, I suppose. Let me step in here. Already loaded should be false because we haven't done anything yet, so let's step over that. Steam shared library loader. Library path is null. Let me step over that. The loader looks okay. Loader load libraries. We step into that. Okay, this should do some OS specific stuff. So it is Windows. Okay. So this library system names, it is a, okay, I found the DLL. That is looking like it's trucking along okay. So yeah, library path is null. So this library system names, okay. Steamworks for J. Get parent file, what's this? Okay. Sorry, folks, I guess I am stepping through the code here in Steamworks for J to see what's going on. So full path. Okay. So it didn't, here it didn't throw. Okay. This looks like it's doing something similar. Weird. Weird, weird, weird. Yeah, I mean, things look to be going okay, Chad. So it's Steam Editor API Java. Steam Editor API. Also, let's just throw a few breakpoints here and there. So it's not started. So it's not starting, and I just don't know. So it's failing there, but it's not throwing. Okay. Yep, I think this was the thing that was step in here, step in here. this native init function. Yeah. Yeah, I'm not quite sure what's going on, Chad. Yeah, I could certainly do that. Yeah, yep. Let's try that. So Chad just suggested just doing something like this. So let's just say, let's just init it, and then let's assume that we did everything worked out okay. Um, yeah, let's try that. Mods, uploaded workshop. I mean that definitely. So Code Guy says the most likely Steamworks DLL fails to load, missing dependency. Yeah, let me try stepping through it one more time, just to be a little bit more systematic about it. So step into here, step in, because this does actually, this is fine. This load library thing goes fine, I'm pretty sure. Just this native init. Let me have 7, 7, 7. Yeah. I think that might be the actual part where it's reaching out and talking to the DLL, and it just might not be working. Um, anyways, so there's still some, as you can tell, there's still some wrinkles to iron out in the workshop uploader. But we are slowly getting there, and I'm pretty excited about it. It'll be nice to have. So I'm not going to worry too much about that. I'll probably work off stream with Chad to make sure that that is in fact working. Um, so onward. Okay, so let me just not worry about that, and let's just make some sci-fi levels for fun and for teaching. So mods, this level load. That seems to work just fine. The thing that does kill me is the text resolution is mismatched on that, but whatever. Cool. Let's right now we don't like if right now if you notice like you can select a tile, hit G to grab the texture. If you look at our atlas, there's only a handful of textures, so maybe I'll just noodle out some pixel art and just kind of hang out with you folks for a little while. Hopefully that is an okay thing to do. So Guy says new DLC sci-fi weapons and map pack. This will definitely be an example mod that people can download and learn from. Um, it also just happens to be some old art I had laying on my hard drive that I figured, why not get some use out of it, right? Um, okay, so what I want to do is right now we only have 8 room for only so many textures. So what can we do? We need to read a couple things. Let's look at if I turn on my grid looks okay. I zoom out a little bit. Let's resize this canvas. You can do that simply by hitting C. Let's turn on our grid so we can see what we're doing, and then let's resize this son of a gun. Kind of eyeball it. 96 pixels should be. Let's actually go 128, right? Give us lots of room to breathe. So 128 pixels tall. There we go. And Yeah, so Chris has been chatting with me about a Hyperlight Drifter mod or a Hyperlight Delver mod he's been making, which I think is pretty cool. Um, Typically, if I so I love previewing folks' stuff um, on my mod stream. So yeah, go ahead. If you guys have mods you want me to show on the end of the stream, I'll go ahead and save them for like the last maybe last half hour of the stream. So that'll be around 2:30 my time. So in about hour and a half or so. Yeah. So if you want, just go ahead and email me the mods you want me to play. Email them to me at joshua.skeleton@gmail.com, and I'll take them for a spin. Typically, I like to have this done before the stream so I can make sure that things are ironed out and smoothly. But today's stream has, as you may have guessed, has not gone super smoothly. Cool. Or you can ping me. You can also follow me. You can friend me on Steam. I will say yes. Um, the Delver community is really cool, so uh, you can be my friend. Okay, so we have some of these are kind of like nice panels, but I also want something kind of like techie and greebly looking. Doom kind of did this where they had basically scanned in an old motherboard or a circuit board, and they had just had these kind of cool greebles. So I might just do something along those lines. Um, I typically suggest people email it to me because I don't always check my Steam chat. Behind me is a second machine that sometimes your messages will pop up and I just won't see for like days, and I feel bad about that. So I do try to be responsive and get back to you folks as soon as I notice stuff, but I may not notice it for a while. Okay, so generally my strategy is when I'm making stuff for Delver, um, I tried to make two different kinds of wall textures. Um, when I plan my wall textures, some wall textures I make a concerted effort um, to make sure that they tile. Let me see. They tile both in the. Let's do RGB. So X is red. The R. Why is my? Oh, I must have my brush settings transfer. There we go. Get our pixel art correct, Joshua. So in the R and in the R, sorry, the X, in the X direction, and in the Y direction. And this is useful in most cases, uh, like when you just want to plaster a wall with like a rock texture or something like that. It works really well in the X and Y. And if you look at some of my texture sheets for like the cold area or for the ruins area, you can kind of suss out which ones do this. But also, I do some textures that are only really tile well in the X direction. So they have details that don't necessarily repeat very well in the Y. And I try not to have, like, I try to have more of the repeatable in both directions than the repeatable in just a single direction, just because that it's more useful to have a repeatable in both directions. But it is nice to have these little details here um, to add a little bit of flair to your levels. So that's what I keep in mind when I make textures. Okay, so let's get to work. Let's make some sci-fi stuff. Okay, go ahead. So this one I'm going to plan for it to tile in both directions. And I'm thinking of maybe, I don't know, some pipes or something that looks kind of techy. Yeah. Again, I'm just going to play around until I find something I think looks okay. Yeah, in Delver, you don't really have to ever do any coding. You do have to sometimes edit JSON, but that's not really coding, that's just structuring data. I'm not really feeling it, and I'm not quite sure why. Maybe it's just a level of detail thing. Maybe I'm trying to jump into details too quick before actually solving big design problems. That's probably what it is. Um, just trying to think of some cool big shapes that might work okay as tech stuff. Um, again, this might make it. Again, I have to be careful because this might make my life hard as far as like trying to get it to repeat on the y-axis cleanly. But maybe I can do something like this. Um, Again, some of my settings got goofed up a little bit. I must have been doing some actual just normal painting and not pixel art. Photoshop is an okay. I mean, I prefer it because I just have so much like history with Photoshop. It's an okay way to do pixel art. It just takes some setup to make sure you're getting it working correctly. Mm, I kind of have a model for that. If you look at, let me fire open Blender. Uh, I have, so I do have this window thing here that I kind of a bit initially built for the original set. Um, so that may work. Um, not sure. Um, I kind of made it a model because I wanted to make sure I had texture on the inside. Um, yeah, because you have to be careful with having transparency in Delver because like if like there like you have to like how do I say it like with the model I can fake depth where if you just add transparency on the wall the geometry might look a little odd. Okay, let me let me just work in layers here. Just so I don't have to, so I can just kind of push things around and hopefully make my life a little bit easier. So I think maybe I'll bump these, kind of make it a little bit asymmetric. And gotta figure out how to make these, because I'm trying to be mindful of how this would actually tile in the Y. So maybe either I connect them up or I do something funky. I don't know. I could. Let me see how that would tile. I need to move that over one. Yeah, let me. Chad's asking me, I could see if there's a Steam app ID text in my working directory. Yeah, let me pop into there. So Delver, you said in my working directory for Delve edits. Engineer. I set my working directory for Dungeoneer. I don't see it, um, which I believe that should be the correct working directory. Yep. The Lobile says what they do is they do all the edges first and then they draw the inside. Yeah, there's a number of ways to kind of go about doing this whole tiling texture stuff. Um, just to make sure real quick, I'll just drag a copy over here to the left. Actually, let me select this, then drag it over. And yeah, it looks like it should actually tile okay. I'm not sure if it's going to be the greatest texture in the world, but whatever. Yeah, let me just real quick, let me just flatten this, let me save it. Come on, file, save. Yep. Let me go back to my editor and see what it's doing. Nope, not assets mods. Load. Grab that and here. Let me say upper. Oh, because I didn't copy it over. Duh. Mods. This is the same directory, so I go to desk. Nope. I want to go to repositories. GitHub, Delver mods. Floor, computer. Yep. Cool. Um, test level, load. G. There we go. Now we have our new texture. Let's just see how well it's working. I goofed that one up somehow. But I do like the change in color is nice. It might be just a little too crazy. I'm not sure. Not sure how I feel about it quite yet. Yeah, actually, I might be able to do something like can I do sometimes I do this in Blender, strangely enough, to make a tiling texture. So let's go to here. I wonder if I can do this. I'm just going to give us a little shot. So Shift A, mesh plane. I want to make sure the plane is, by default, it's 2 units by 2 units. I want to actually make the radius 0.5, so I get a 1 unit by 1 unit plane. I want to add a new material or new image. So let me see. Let's go U unwrap, image, new image. I want it to be 32 by 32 pixels. Okay. This is the UV image editor. Can I? Hoping I can just copy and paste. That would be nice. Control C. Can I just paste it in here? Image. Looks like I cannot paste it, but let me just real quick. File, new. Okay, Control V. File, save as. Desktop, and let's call this, it's a ping, let's call this tiling underscore test. Okay, then let's image open, and then desktop tiling test. Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to scale this up by a factor of 3. And then here I'm going to scale this by 1/3. Maybe make sure I'm not. There we go. Oh, sorry. Scale this up by 3 as well. So now what I've got here is I've got this repeating 3 in the x and 3 in the y. And then now I can go over to, yeah, it doesn't really matter. Let's go to default. That's fine. And then wherever yep, there we go. Go into texture paint mode. Yeah, it wants us to actually have a material on this sucker. So new material, shadeless, image, new, and then tiling test. And then down here on the brush, under, let me see, on the brush curve, you want make it flat for pixel art, so it gives you nice, so you can just get nice, nice hard edge strokes. You also want to turn up opacity all the way, turn off pin pressure, so now you can get nice, you know, pixel arty strokes. And then now I can figure out how to fix this. So how about something like this? And then the nice thing is, because I've tiled my UVs, it's a nice fast way to get tiling textures in Blender, and I've set the brush to be, you know, pixel art friendly. Hey Jordan, how are you? Thanks for stopping by. Yeah, so Blender in itself is another huge topic that could, you know, you could spend so much time on. What I want to do is over here, let's make this also a UV image editor. I want to open. Let's go to my example mod, dungeon floor, textures, example tiles. Let's open that, and then let's, I think you can pin that. So what pinning it will do is generally Blender likes to sync the texture it's showing with whatever object you've selected. But because we've pinned it now, we can keep this up here. And I'm probably going to use this for kind of like a little style guide, but also for color sampling, just to make sure that I'm keeping a similar palette. Okay, so actually, let me. No, that does not work as I expected it to. It has to be color picking here. There's most certainly a way to go to paint mode here, and I can't remember what it is. Is it P? Image, view. Come on, Blender. Maybe I'm mistaken. Yes, smart objects can be helpful when doing tiling stuff in Photoshop, but um, I tend to find them just a little clunky to use. Yeah, what I might just do right here is just to exit texture paint mode, object mode, Shift A, just add a new plane. Just drag it over here, unwrap, and then just do that. So I can just texture pick directly off of this guy. That should work now that I'm in my 3D mode. And I don't need this, so I can just collapse all these panels. There we go. Maybe it'd be better if this was twice as big. Get X.5. There we go. Go back into texture paint mode. Yeah, I'll do some pixel art in Blender because that's something you can do. And make sure. Ooh, why is it not? That is weird. Unless I was somehow accidentally grabbing. Yeah, I think so. Blender is weird in that you just tap the S key to sample whatever is under your cursor. Uh, so if you hold down S, you drag it around, it'll sample wherever. And the thing is the pin doesn't actually have to touch the tablet. So a lot of times I forget this and I will mess up my selection. Yeah, so that should be fine. Um, I want to kind of greeble this a bit, maybe, like if we had like a lighter panel, maybe. I don't know. Let's play around with that. I guess I also have to keep in mind like what this will look like. What, so to kind of give me some guidelines, I'll just cut this to show me actually what is the um, texture paint. Yeah. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to crap, that's not doing what I want to do. Oh well. So I just added those lines there too. Actually, I can go split my view. I want properties. And then let's do always draw wire, show all edges. And then now I should have, even in texture paint mode, I should have um, these guides kind of showing me where the boundaries of my tiling texture is. Uh, Gui says the perspective is screwing with him. I'm not sure what he means. There's no perspective on anything. Okay, cool. Okay, so let's draw. Maybe I can cover up some of this ugliness with a panel. Like just throw a panel in here. Again, I have to be mindful of like how it's going to repeat though too. Like I don't want to be super ugly. Another trick too in Blender, if you want, you can go to your stroke and you can make your stroke a line. And then now I can just drag little lines here to quickly do these edges. Okay, go back to dots, which is the default. Again, I'm not sure if that's working or not, but we'll just try it for a while. It should be. There's no angle. It's straight. It's on the orthographic top view. Um, something like that. Maybe add a little bit of outline to it. Don't know. Just playing around. Also, maybe a little bit of texture on this guy wouldn't hurt. Like, it is going to be in the background, so maybe keeping it simple is probably the best way to go about it. Uh, Sorry, my brain is confusing all my shortcuts now, unfortunately. Okay, and then maybe if I just brought this in just a little bit. I'm just trying to give the illusion that it. That's okay. Let me just go quickly to my line again and just knock out these guys here. These lines. That is a nice thing about having these tile, like you just using the UVs to tile. I can quickly kind of just work all across, all over the place, and not have to worry too much, um, which is handy. And then let's just start drawing our lines. Like this is some sort of maybe, like in like some sort of conduit or something. I don't know. Uh, I typically like to make I like to have my art quote make sense, but sometimes when you're doing sci-fi stuff, you have a lot of flexibility. And this might be too noisy. I might have to even push the colors back a little bit further. Again, I'm just playing around, just seeing what comes of it. Let's switch our brush back to dot mode, and then I can fix up these textures. Okay, that's looking all right. Again, sorry, my shortcuts are getting mixed up in my brain. Let's add some of these little construction dots to the texture. Um, Thanks, Chris. Yeah, it's coming together okay. Um, it just kind of arbitrarily has a panel. I'm not sure if I should make it if I should make it connect an X or the Y or both. let me try connecting it in the X and see what happens. Let's go back to line mode. Let's just do something like this. Connect that there. Connect that there. Go back to dots. Yep, missed. And fill this in. Yeah, that's a good point. So Chris is saying that because um, the pipes they match up so nicely, it makes it look like it creates a visual artifact that's not so great. So I can kind of fix that really quickly just by I think if I just shift the middle guy around, that might fix my issue. I'm not sure if it's an issue, but I mean it can be. It's something that can be improved, right? So let's make it better. Okay. Actually, this might have been too thick. Okay, so now let's add this in, but let's offset it just a touch so it's not, but it's two. Oh well. Actually, I can make this one actually just thicker, right? So one, two, three, four. Yeah, one, two, three, four. Just having a little bit of variety is definitely a good thing. I think we should put maybe a dark band here. Maybe that helps. So maybe I should change the size of this panel. Make it a little bit, try to make it a little bit more interesting, a little less samey. Let's try that. I think maybe it'd be fun to put like a, sorry, my shortcuts are all getting goofed on me because my brain's just broken now. Maybe add a grate to this could be cool. Um, so Synchron. Hey, thanks for joining the stream. No, I'm just doing this is a bit of like a fun little break. This is an example mod for Delver showing just kind of showing folks uh, like how if you wanted to do a custom dungeon, like how you might go about doing that. And this is just for fun. It's also a learning resource as well. So hopefully folks find it interesting. And I haven't had a chance to do sci-fi art because Delver is it is very traditional, like a swords and sorcery kind of fantasy. So it's nice to have just a little change of pace every now and then. So I thought it'd be fun to do. Just bump everything over one to make room. Just kind of freestyling, no real concrete plans. It looks like it needs more space. Should have planned that out better. Yeah, that's something I might fix in Photoshop here in a bit, Chris. Yeah, because Chris is pointing out, and rightly so, that um, uh, this, if I bump it over a little bit, will tile much more nicely. Um, and there are reasons I still like using Photoshop simply because like the lasso select is way nice. Copy and paste, adjusting palette stuff like that. But I'm just doing a quick fun little thing. Also bump this down. And also, this is just an example. Again, this is kind of also showing folks how you can do pixel art in Blender if you're so inclined, and also how to do tiling UVs or tiling textures in Blender. Because this is not limited to pixel art. You can certainly do hand painted or any other texturing style in Blender using this technique of just using the UVs. Actually, it's a clever usage of UVs. Just doing a little bit of shading on the grate here to kind of give it the illusion of it being like a crisscrossing grate pattern. Um, Zoom out and see what that looks like. That's looking okay. That's looking kind of cool-ish. Definitely tiles in one direction better than the other, unfortunately. Let me. I like where it's headed. Let me pop over to UV editing mode, and over here, image, save image. Then over here in Photoshop, I can pop it open again. Nope. File open. Don't want to print. Open. There we go. Yeah, so Chris was suggesting something like this. So I can make a marquee selection like that, like that, like that. And if then I can paste it. And then I can just bump it over too. And then I can make that tile much nicer. Let's see if I can fix this up real quick because I did kind of goof that up. Let me just save that. I don't know why Blender keeps wanting not, or Photoshop keeps not wanting to preserve the PNG file format. Sometimes it does that. Okay, then I can go over here back into Blender and I can hit Alt R, and that will reload my texture. And then I can fix kind of what I've goofed up over here. I think I've messed up the this. And then also maybe add a little bit of this drop shadow on the outside to sell that a little bit better. Oh, Chris meant the entire tile. That also could have been a way to have done it. Um, um, yeah, it's okay. It's not tiling like my mouse keeps messing things up. It keeps like the tiling of the X is okay. And also maybe I should add, maybe I'll imply more detail here in the back. Like, uh, image, save, and then let's go ahead and there's no Photoshop isn't a good way to reload textures that have been changed underneath it. So let me copy and paste it there, merge down, save as ping. Yep. Okay. Let's relaunch Delvedit. Actually, wait. Let's before I forget, copy this over. Yep. Launch Delvedit. And again, let's G to grab our texture. So we also do correct tiles. Let's change the upper wall to this. Hit play. It's looking okay. Meh. Actually, I should just let me strip out the panel by itself and just have just the pipes. I think the pipes are actually probably doing okay on their own. Maybe I didn't need the panel after all. Okay, so let's just do a new level in case I don't like it. Okay, do that. Though I think I was doing that to hide the weird intersection there, but whatever. Again, that could be fixed. Okay, let's go down. Yeah, maybe I should have just been more brave about having just this been uh, just being kind of a lower contrast or not a lower contrast but a lower yeah, like the just the fact that it's not as bright I think would help. 1, 2, 4. Nope. Group that. 1, 2, 3, 4. Up. 1, 2, 3, 4. Like that. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4. I think that's right. Nope. That's right. Yep. I'm just gonna eyeball that one. Okay. Let me figure out how to fix this because we have 2 pipes coming in here. Also need that little gap there. Let's do that. That. It should look like that. Like that. Just kind of redoing the pipes. So I want this to be a darker, like contrasting bit compared to the rest of the texture. I think I got a little hasty with my shift clicking. I think it's okay to have this one kind of be ambiguously defined a little bit, maybe. That's probably okay. I'm getting a little sloppy with my shift clicking. Maybe tighten that up. Since I have a little bit of room here, maybe I could do something like make this just a little bit bigger. Have it do something like this. Maybe imply it's cylindrical. Do something like that. Maybe do something like that over here too, or I can just break this up a little. For no other reason, maybe then just add a little bit of variety. Yeah, this over here is really pretty repetitive. Yep, the labolial is correctly pointing out that now it doesn't tile this direction. So let's go ahead and merge this down. Let's Control C, Control V, Control S as a ping. Yep, let's replace it. Okay, back into Blender, Alt R. And then he's talking, or the labolial is talking about this little bit right here. So again, this could be just a little bit of problem solving to make this work. But I think I like the way this is going. It's kind of a cool. So maybe something like some sort of like intersection here. Let's go back into default here. We're in texture paint mode already, so that's great. And then let's just kind of maybe turn this. Into some sort of junction. Like this may be turned on its side. Okay, so something like this. Not all the way though. Let's pull that in. Have this highlight live right here. Assuming the shading comes from that direction. Something like that. These kind of now, again, kind of somewhat connect up again, kind of. That might be a little on the busy side, but I think it kind of works. So let's go back over here. Let's image save. Go back to Photoshop. Nope. Let's open it up again. Control A, Control C, Control V, Control E, S, save as ping. Example tech. Yep. Here. File. I think I have to reload this. So let's close it. Let's just relaunch our editor. So again, I'm digging this new picker. I mean, I'm just really glad that it works perfectly on Windows and Mac and Linux. The current version of this this dialog uses the native dialog, and for some reason on Windows it just doesn't work right. So I'm glad that Chad has gone and fixed that. Very, very handy. Oh, and because I'm a dummy, I forgot to copy over the content. So again, copy in here. Oh, let's do that. And let's relaunch. Open mods, meshes, nope. Levels, yup. Load, grab that. Then let's make the upper wall that and play. Cool. Yeah, I think that this might be best when it's not used like all over the place. Like you could do something um, like over here. Like we have these lower textures we can play around with. Like you could do G, lower wall, that. So you have, yeah, like that. That would work out pretty cool, right? That seems to do what I'm hoping it will do. Have these little pipe textures back here, which is nice. It's nice again because it provides a nice contrasting element because it's darker than the rest. Um, cool. Actually, I need to take a quick break. I think I'm out of coffee, and let me see. We're almost coming up on the 2 hour mark. So let me just take a quick break, and I'll be right back. So let's do the old. Let's do this. 1/22, 2017, and let's say 13:45. All right, I am back. Okay, so yeah, I'm really digging this new texture. I think it's going to add some nice variety. What else? Unfortunately, I didn't have time to make coffee because I only gave myself like 2 minutes and change, so I grabbed soda. Oh well. Okay. Actually, I was thinking, during that brief little break, that maybe it'd also be nice to have some custom torches and sprites and stuff. It would be nice to have like little like lamp thingies, and maybe a better floor texture too would be ideal. So, let's make sprites because sprites that would be good to have for this level. So let me just go ahead and save it. It's nice that now here's a little preview. Test level.bin. That's nice that the editor now shows you what level you have open. Okay, I can close this, and we need to make a sprites. So in our example dungeon floor mod here, um, textures example. If you look at stock builder, um, nope, assets, for example, textures, cold. We do have a sprites.ping here. Copy and file open. Sprites.ping. And these are the sprites that are used for the cold area, and I want to because it's nice. These little elements add a little bit of life to the level. Because right now, looking back at my little test level, it feels pretty sterile. So it'd be nice to pop in these little things every now and then to add some life. Chris is saying, quick question. At some point, could you ask how to make a custom enemy? Not today, obviously. Yeah, yeah. I think that um, yeah, that should probably be living in its own mod. But yeah, I think that would be a good thing to do. And again, this update that we're working on right now is very um, mod centric. So yeah, definitely. Okay, so I don't know if grass or ice really makes sense for this new area I'm working on, but maybe some sort of uh, actually let me just real quick. Um, so I typically like this practice is just to make sure my whole sheet is this. So let's do this. Let's go ahead and position this up here. Merge it down. This is just for troubleshooting stuff because if you get indexes wrong and it's a transparent uh, so it's a transparent sprite, then you have a really hard time figuring out what's going on. And also, I'm going to let's say canvas size, and I only want it to be half, so say 128. So I don't know if I need this much room. And then let's just real quick do this. Again, that way, if I goof up my indexes, um, it will show me. Guy says, "What are those low-res textures at the bottom?" Those are some vestigial textures that still exist in Delver. I think Chad originally was the one who created them. Okay, let me do it the other way. Let me put this up there. Let me uh, ba, ba, ba. Let me pop these out so I can kind of look at these while I work on again, try to maintain a somewhat unified color palette. Just kind of work on the little lamp here. Hey hippie, thanks for stopping by and watching my stream. Okay, so let's do something like. Actually, let me go ahead and start with the big one. I think like Doom had these cool like these little posts. And maybe not making them too super high, but like these little posts that were lamps. So maybe I'll just when in doubt, Doom did it right, so let's do something like that. Um, Let's see. So Sam825 says, "I'm very jealous of my style." Thanks. Yeah. Style is one of those weird things, right? Like, to be honest, whenever I look at my own work, I just see like um, all the artists that have inspired me, right? It doesn't really feel like my own style. It just feels like this weird, disgusting mashup of all these styles that I like, which I guess is kind of my style, I guess. Also, I want to make brush. I want to make this bright. But thank you for the kind words. I appreciate that. Like I always try to do the best work that I can. I know, a lot of artists, we are our own critic, or our own worst critic. Um, yeah. It might be too wide. Let me bump it over to, nope, let's not do that, Joshua. Let's cut and paste. Put it on, so that way I get it on its own layer is the ultimate, you know, uh, goal of that. Let's bump that over one, then let's bump this over one, and let's recenter that. And that might be useful. That might be okay. Let me see. Hippie is asking, what are we working on? So Hippie, I am working on an example mod for Delver, and I thought it would be fun um, to make a sci-fi set for Delver. It will be an example mod available to the public, so folks can learn how to mod Delver using this, which I think is cool. And do I even have a higher highlight, right? Maybe I can pull that in. Just trying to provide useful learning materials for folks. And maybe for this, I'll have a kind of a light bluish color. Let me just throw it down. Maybe I'll throw down two. So let's do something like this. And then I'm just going to make a marquee selection of these. Hit Control H to hide all the guides. Hit Control U to adjust my hue sat. Let's drop the lightness down a little bit. Let's crank the sat. Let's play with the hue a little bit and shift it one direction or other. Maybe towards the blue purpley would be cool. So yep, that looks all right. Because I don't want it to be too dark. It really should be bright. Like this is probably gonna be a full bright entity because it is a light, right? So just trying to make sure I like the shading I can live with. Yeah, Chad did make a game for I think it was one of the game jams that run every now and then. It was called Boarding Party. It was a cool little project. Um, does it make sense if I do something similar here? Tighten this highlight up a little bit. that starts getting a little confusing. I think that's probably okay. Let me. Yeah, that's. Yep, 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 yep. Let me just save this. Spreads not ping. Yup. Okay, let me just kind of throw in a prototype of this into the level to see how I like it. I probably won't like it, but I can fix it, right? That's kind of the important part, is getting something down and then making it better. I need to copy it over. Textures, example, sprites, copy. There we go. Okay, I was thinking maybe putting that like here. So what we can do is say, let's place light torch. Torch animate random, or it doesn't matter, loop or random, because it can be a single frame, right? And then text is, oh, it's not here because we didn't define it. So we gotta do that, right? So let me pop up with VS Code again. It still should be on our, yep. Okay. So here in our data wall textures, we need to add a sprite sheets. Pretty sure. Let me compare that to Delver. Assets, data. We need a sprite sheets.dat. So we throw that on the right side up here so we can kind of model our changes after that. So pop that over there. And we need to new file, sprite sheets.dat. Put it back over here. This is a JSON list of objects with the properties like that. So we just, again, it's very similar to wall textures. So it has a number of columns. So 4. The name is I think textures example. Let's copy this to get the path right. And then it's just sprites.ping, and the name is example sprites. All right, now the editor should know what we're talking about. But as always, Joshua, you got to copy that stuff over. So I just changed the data folder. Let's just copy that over. Let me just relaunch the editor. Yep. It bailed because I missed the T in textures. I can't find this. So let's get that correct. Thank you for catching that. There we go. Okay, so entity lights torch. A bit here for the texture. We can pick our example sprites. Pick that one. Let's see. So snap it on the floor. The light probably should be a bluish light. And if I hit play, what does it look like? So the text end and start needs to be 0 and 0. Oh, it still has the it still has, I think the default torch has a particle emitter attached to it, which isn't quite what we want. Let's see. If I add it, place entity, lights, torch, basic, torch, are these the same? No, this is the old one, so this will probably work as I expect it to. So example sprites, there we go. 0 and 0. Snap it down the z-axis and give it a bluish light. Delete this one. Play. It's too, I think that's too not blue enough, so let me pull it down just a little. It's hard to find a good balance between like adding too much sat to the light color and not adding enough. Cool, Chad. Thanks for stopping by. Have a good rest of your day. Cool. All right. Just kind of snap that over in the corner. Blah, 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 I think that should be all right. Now I can get rid of these lights that don't necessarily make sense. So I might want to pull the range up slightly. So let's see. Now I can kind of snap these around. Yep, that's working out okay. Nice. Okay, maybe, I don't know, maybe I could make them a little bit taller, not quite sure. Let me go ahead and just save this as is. File, save. Okay. I wonder how this, let me select that and then I did something like pulling this down. The floor should be, let's turn off paint adjacent. Let's make the ceiling that and make the floor the floor. Then I can do something cool, like pull that down. Yeah, that definitely does not, you have to be careful, I think, to make that tile correctly. Can you? Or is that, have I just goofed it up so much that you can't really make it tile super great? It seems like the ceiling texture is off for some odd reason. Like it's flipped or something. What if I select this and Shift T? There we go. It was flipped around. There we go. Now we can kind of play with making this look. There we go. Unfortunately, that doesn't line up super great with that. There has to be a way to make this work. There we go. Nice. It looks weird. I don't know if I like it, but it is. I guess it is possible to stretch this correctly to make it do weird stuff. Cool. Also, yeah, that also means too, I can, I don't necessarily like that, but I potentially can't, well, I guess I can't flip the wall textures, but you can have these on the ceilings. If I want to do something like this, then if I made the ceiling texture this, I can have these cool text ceiling things going on. So it's nice that that's also usable in that way. So like maybe for like cool corridors or something, you can get these to do something interesting, you know, where like, yeah, something like, you know, where these are kind of offset just a little bit, so they're kind of recessed. Yeah. Even on the floor that might work too. So it's nice to have flexible textures. So we got the, let me see, got the torches in. But it would be nice to define them as torches. At least we have a base texture going, even though it's not super interesting, but it is in there. There's no collision on them. They really should stop your movement. Make them true. 0.5? Whoa, not 5. 0.5? 0.6. We could do the math and get it right. So if you just go here, make a marquee selection, it is 21 pixels, wait, 21 or 20? 20 pixels tall, so pull to a calculator, and 20 over 32, 625, so that should give us the exact height of that. And then I can kind of fudge the width a little bit. 0.025. Well, I guess that seems odd. I didn't think you'd be able to step up on that. I thought that was too tall. Weird. Make it 1. I don't really want people stepping up on these. It doesn't seem to be playing. Maybe the torches have a hard-coded collision. Um, cool. So um, those are good. Um, I think do we have also some, like we could make use of it in an ambient manner too. So like entity, lights, dynamic light, and then we can do a flicker of this, I think. Like a flicker? Yeah. You got to be careful with that, how many of these you use, but we got some. We have some ways of making this work. And then typically what you'd have to do is you add a dynamic light, and then you could add a sprite. And then just make sure you select the correct sheet. So example sprites, wherever they live, and that guy. And then make sure example sprite, snap him to the correct spot. Make sure it's full bright. Is the full bright flag reversed? That seems odd. Okay. That might not be the correct flicker. Maybe flicker on was good. Flicker off maybe? Again, just kind of playing with these settings. Yeah, flicker off might be better, where it's mostly on and occasionally flickers. Yeah, and then I can replace this one, say, with this, and I can add these to a group, make it a little bit easier to manage, and just stick it in the corner for some ambience. Actually, let me ungroup that real quick. Then make the range 4.5. The light color. Eesh. Okay, what's the light color on this guy? 191255249. Ugh. Ah, you're killing me, Chad. Okay, so again, mathy. So 191 divided by 255. 255. 749. So this one needs to be, say, 0.75. Then I think the green is all the way up and the red is 249, so that's pretty close to full. So 249 divided by 255, 9798, rounding up. Cool. Nice. And that, I don't know, for some reason, flickering lights, and oh yeah. I guess I can't hear. I don't have the audio. I have the audio turned on for the stream, but not for me. I think the torch, its audio might be hard coded, so maybe having something like this where it's just kind of manually built. Delver doesn't have a hum built in, but you could certainly make one. So let's go ahead and do that. Let's get rid of that. Let me see. Let me duplicate this. Let me add a light ambient. Let me try to copy over the values. So I think it was like 191 and 249. Okay. And kind of get that over on this fella. Make sure, again, I thought that full right should be working as I full right seems to be a little odd. Oh, I didn't hold Alt, so you need to Alt Shift drag this guy over. So we have there we go. So we didn't miss a sprite. And then I'll define these as entities, and I'll use them to place around the level. Let me see. Yeah, I mean, again, Java is an interesting choice for making a game in. You know, like it's the reality of the situation. That's kind of where we are now. You know, that should be sure. Okay, so real quick, let me group these and group these. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to right click and say to JSON, and I'm going to grab the little JSON pop up here, and I'm going to copy this. And then I'm going to go over to where we have our entity definition, it's entities.dat. And right now we need to have two static meshes. It's a railing and a railing corner. But what I want to do is add a new entity. So we need a name, and we can paste in what we copied out of there. And tab that over. Kind of clean this up a little bit. And this is going to be a, say, floor lamp. Okay. And then we can close this out. And let's go over to this group, right click to JSON. Let's copy this. And then over here again, we can have a, again, paste this in, clean it up a little bit. Typically, go ahead and just with, when you're making your own prefabs, go ahead and delete the last position property. It will typically mess you up if you don't. Things will not appear where you expect them to appear. So floor lamp, let's say flickering floor lamp. Okay, that looks good. And it looks like the light color, that's fine. The sprite. Looks like on the sprite I accidentally set the color on that. I don't want to. Let me just clean that up. So I meant to set the color on the light, which I did. And they should have. Let me just cut weird. So one. Yeah, that should be fine. Let me just clean this up. So this should be 7.5, and this should be 9.8, just to make sure they are the exact same color. Please save it. I hopefully haven't goofed anything up. This is. Yeah, so I need to copy over the DAT folder again. So let's close this, and let's copy over our data. And then let's relaunch the editor. And I think after this, I think Chris maybe sent me his mod, so I'll play a little bit of the mod here in 15 minutes. If you folks want me to, like, there's about half an hour, not half an hour. No, there's about 45 minutes left on the stream. So if you want me to play your mod, go ahead and send your mod to me at joshua.skeldon@gmail.com, and I'll play it. So then now I should be able to just go ahead and delete all of these because we have a prefab for it now. And then I can right click, place prefab, example meshes. Maybe the mesh's name isn't a good name anymore, but I can go floor lamp. And that's an ambient light, which is the best way to go about it. So there we got our floor lamp. So we can kind of position these around the level. And then, like I said, yeah, maybe I will do something interesting with this texturing, because even though this is an example level, I still like to kind of explore kind of how things could look. And then here I will grab that and then make the ceiling this. I don't want to paint adjacent, I just want to paint that, ceiling that. There we go. Maybe push this up a little bit. Cool. Nice. And again, that kind of nicely breaks up the space a little bit too. And actually, yeah, I guess while I'm having fun, why not just keep having fun? Let's do this. See if I can make this work finally. As you can play with where this ends. Maybe Shift T, flip that around. There we go. That was what was wrong with it. There we go. Maybe something similar on this side. Again, symmetry isn't always what you want, so just be mindful of that. Then I can grab this, and just kind of snap it into place here. Maybe I need to bump it back a little bit. Cool. Nice. Yeah, yeah. That is the one nice thing. The nice thing about making games is you can have fun with it. Like sometimes I feel guilty about it, but it's definitely like I had fun with the process. I could, oh yeah, I could even do something even more strange too, where I could say grab this. Let's do both. So pull this up. And what I want to do is make a selection here. G, then the upper wall maybe that. There we go. That worked out well. Same thing here. And kind of play around with this too. Let's see. Just gonna push this up a little bit further. And I can play around with, pull this down. And then conversely, I could maybe push this one up. Cool. Nice. Yep, and I think it has a nice little, just a little bit of strangeness to the level. I don't know. It's just fun. Just making stuff. KR Stalker says, are those vanilla textures or modded? So I am making a mod. This is an example mod for a how to do a custom dungeon level. So these are all custom textures, but I will be pushing them out to my GitHub repo so you can see how I built it, and you can use these textures for your own mods if you so like. Nice. So that's looking cool. Yep. The lights are working well. Maybe I should, since I created it, so let's delete this one, right click, place entity, and let's do example meshes, flickering floor lamp. And now we have a spooky flickering light. You have to be careful with these dynamic lights again because the Delver engine can only support so many, but it's a nice little touch. Cool. And there's no collision set on these. The nice thing about making these a prefab is we can actually just change the prefab definition, and all these will update. So again, I would probably go the route of adding these collision areas to that, because for some odd reason adding a collision box to the torch didn't. Well, actually, since these aren't torches, if I add it to the sprite, does it work? True. And this is 0, 625, and this is 125, and this one is 125. Yeah, and that behaves like I would expect. So really quick, what I can do is I can go to JSON, and I can just find this collision property and just copy only that. And then I can delete that. I can add a prefab, which is the example meshes, which is the flickering floor lamp. And if you click on it, is a prefab. This is a prefab. Let me go ahead and save out this level. So file, save. Let me close this. Let me go to my definition here on the sprite, and then just put in the collision box here. Save that one. And then also on this one, I want the same collision box. Save. And then I think I just need to copy over the dat file, because I think I've been copy, replace. And then I think if I launch my level and open it up again, because it's a prefab, all the prefab instances that are in the level should get the collision, and that's the nice thing about using prefabs. So if I hit play, Dropping the level. Yep. Yep. What I do wrong. So did I not? So also, it should be fine. What did I do wrong? Oh, I also probably need to do something like set the, there's a flag to let you know if it's solid or not, which I did not set. Dope. So you can have collision, but if you don't turn it on, it doesn't work. No, don't feel bad. It's nice that people are excited about editors, which usually is you know, I don't know. Editors typically don't receive a lot of love, so I'm really glad that we have made the editor as good as we have. And then it just needs to have a is solid true flag. There we go. So real quick, I'll do this and then we'll get on to previewing Chris's mod. So collision, is solid is true, is solid is true, save. Okay, let's copy over this data folder with our definitions, and let's launch. Cool, so now open mods, levels, test level, load, and hopefully everything works. There we go. So yeah, so now since we changed the prefab definition, all the prefabs receive the new collision box. It's also nice to like in the temple area for the braziers, when I went back and redid the fire and added particles, it was really nice because they're prefab and just everything got it. Otherwise, you have to go through all your levels that use this and change it, and that would be not a lot of fun. So being able to change these like this is cool. I definitely want to play around with this style more. And again, maybe I'll do a little bit of work on this mod off stream. But again, when I get to a point where I like it, I'll go ahead and push it out to GitHub and let folks play with it. Okay. Before I forget, I also need to, on this, I need to copy the levels back out that way. Just to make sure that the level we've been editing is in my repo. Okay, pardon me. So it looks like Chris did email me his mod. Can I just download it? He did call it Hyperlight Delver. Awesome. Okay, so I'm just going to go over here to my mods folder. I'm just going to delete this for the time being. I have it backed up, so no worries. Let's copy over Hyperlight Delver. And real quick, let's just take a peek and see what's inside. So it looks like there's a tile set. There is, you created custom animations, new items. Here's a sprite sheet definition. And it looks like he's even added audio. Maybe he ripped it from Hyperlight Drifter, I'm not sure. But this should be cool. Let's see what this is all about. So let's fire up Delver. Oh, it looks like it gave me the Drifter Blaster. Nice. So let's go ahead and just equip that. Sweet. Nice. Okay. Let me also just. I was gonna. Oh, Joshua. Let me edit my configuration so I can actually get the debug stuff. I think it's just I don't need the dash. I just need debug equals true. So I can actually give myself all the drifter stuff. Maybe we'll play a little bit of Delver as the drifter, which I think will be cool. So let me see. So okay. Let's do. So there should be 2 armor sets, 2 swords, and a health kit. So 2 armor sets. So armor. 1 guardian helm. Wait, that's not. Is that Hyperlight Drifter? It's not mine. Armor 1 guardian. All right. Armor 1 grease. Sweet. So this is a 5 armor class -1 speed. This is 6 AC -1 speed. And this is 8. This is really high armor. Oh my goodness. It's oh man, the Guardian is really slow though. Let me try. Does he have the other armor set? No. What is it? Armor. What group is it under, Chris? Seven? No. Okay. Armor 6? Okay. Armor 5? No. Okay. Armor 4? Oh, Drifter Helm. Why did I not see that? Armor 1. Drifter Garb. Okay. Armor 1. Drifter Skirt. Okay, there we go. Yeah. Drifter Helm. Drifter Skirt. Sweet. I think in this build too, Chris, the speed should be fixed. So if you wanted to tweak the speed stats, I can do that too. He says 2 swords and a health kit. So melee 1 drifter blade. Nice. It does 8 to 10 damage, which is a pretty whoa, and it glows. Perfect. Perfect, perfect. Yeah, I don't even need the candle because of the sword. Sweet. Nice. Let me just kind of put this in slot 1 and 2 so I can kind of easily toggle between. Can you actually hear the custom sounds coming through? I myself don't have it turned up. Nice. That's a pretty quick swing too. Good. I almost feel like the Drifter should be a little bit more speedy. Let me edit that real quick. Sorry, Chris. I might tweak that just a little bit, if you don't mind me doing it. Let me. So I know you had tried to do it, and I think in the current build that stuff is broken. But let me look at the items, and let's look at Drifter. Chocobundy says, is there a way to reload, repair, refill wands? No, there's not. They are a limited resource that you use up if you're not careful. Armor, Drifter Helm. So he did that right with the base mod move speed. And on the Drifter, I'm just going to go the opposite direction. So let's say the Drifter. This is Garb, Skirt. So let's go base mod move speed 2. And let's get everything move speed up 2. This may break the game, but it could be fun. right, let's see what this does. Okay, it's erase and white. I don't have that Chris is noting that on animations, so for example, I have the drifter gun here. Like when you fire it, it snaps to the correct position. It's a little quirk of our animation system that this particular frame is hard coded, but after that we use the correct transformation after that. So um, yeah, I'll look into it, Chris. I think I created a ticket on it. It was also late at night, so hopefully I didn't babble too much on the ticket. But yeah, there's a bug. Basically, instead of having this default angle, we would just look at the last transformation in an animation and use that instead. Um, yeah, I'm just gonna play. I'm just gonna play a little bit as the drifter and just talk about Delver, folks who are interested, because I think you've done some cool work here, and I wanna show it off. Armor, drifter helm. Nope, got the wrong armor. One, drifter helm. Okay, armor. One, drifter garb. Okay, armor. One, drifter skirt. Okay, let's drifter this up. Okay, so we don't need all this junk. So helm, skirt, garb, guardian. Cool. Yeah, nice and zippy. Because that is the thing with the drifter is they are fast. Excellent guardian armor. 10 AC, is that better than what I have now? But it's slow. Slow.
Who was that?
Lucky dagger. Ooh, it's unique.
Over here.
Yeah, I think it's pretty cool. I think you might want to tweak the sword art just a little bit because when the light's on it, it's kind of hard to read. Maybe play the outline a little bit. Yeah, no, I really like the direction you're going. Yeah, it feels cool to be this zippy. I mean, I guess you can be this zippy in Delver if you put a lot of points into speed, but normally you're not this fast.
Who was that? Hey.
Yeah, I don't care about anything else. It's not the drifter set. Why not? Why not more speed? Let's go crazy with it. Definitely certainly changes the way you play. Let's go back down this way. I think that's the way I need it to go. Is it or did? Yeah.
I heard something.
sorry I'm not talking very much. I'm just really enjoying playing this way. It's different. It's nice having like the two weapons to switch back and forth between. Yeah, you've done good work here, Chris. It feels pretty well tweaked. It's not super broken. You know, like I still feel the enemies still feel challenging, but it just has a distinct feel to it. Oh, almost stepped into that.
Over here.
Nice. I'm still gonna go speed. I think a speed build's gonna be crazy. How I've broken the. Now it's worn. I've used it enough. I'm not sure. I didn't look to see if Chris tweaked the durability of the. Enchant armor. Enchanted drifter skirt. Nice. And the drifter is poison. I'm in Danger Town. Cool. Yeah, this is really good, Chris.
Hey, you.
Cool. Look at chat. Yeah, maybe. I don't know. I mean, I'm trying to figure out like with this sort of thing, like it's cool to throw in the drifter stuff, and I'm not sure where the appropriate place for it to be. Like if it was in, like if you put it in. So for those of you who don't know with modding, like for example this sword Chris has defined in this melee set 1, which means it will show up with the highest likelihood on the lower dungeon levels, namely floor 1. Um, so yeah, I'm not sure where you like really balance that super well. Yeah, let me see. Oh, he says the swords have a broken sprite, but it hasn't hooked it up yet. Let's take a look at a sprite sheet if you don't mind me looking at your pixel art. Let's take a gander. Engineer, Hyperlight Delver. Nice. Oh yeah, cool. He added the basically the drifter sword just goes out, which is nice. Some of the other nice things you may notice is he created his own like little particle, his little effect for the shot, and he created 2 different versions of the weapon. One is for being held, and one is just for inventory, which is really cool. Yeah. So yeah, Chris. It's I mean, in some ways, it is a nice categorization, but it is also it also determines where it gets spawned on what level. Let me see. Yeah. So the chat's talking about how um, so that determines the drop location. So when the loot generation happens, it looks at what dungeon level you're on, and it has this kind of weighted curve where it will try to drop stuff from the level you're on, but also it may pull some stuff from lower levels, or it might pull some stuff from higher levels. Because it's always exciting to get like a drop from something that's kind of a little bit ahead of where you're at. So that's always a nice little surprise there. But this is some pretty good pixel art, Chris. I really like the perspective you put on the health kit. It looks nice. And it's really cool to have these broken things. So how to hook that up would be really pretty easy. So it's 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, because yeah. So it only works. Yeah. So the broken stuff doesn't actually work in Delver yet. It should work in the version I have though. So there should be a text, and there should be a broken text. There should be 4. Let me see if I can make it break. Yeah, no worries. I really like showing off the stuff the community gets to create, or they don't get to. They actually take the time to create themselves, and it's really cool to see folks do that. That they care enough about our little game to make content for it. Um, Let me just smash this real quick. Um, so I'm really excited for when the Steam Workshop gets live to see what all kinds of folks, what kind of crazy stuff folks do. I mean, there are good mods out there now. It's just like it's hard to discover them and to share them. And I think Steam will be a nice place to kind of have all of that. So it's a broken drifter blade. So I must not be in the right branch. That should have gone out. Um, Yeah, it might be in a different branch, Chris. But yeah, that broken text should be what you need to hook up the broken textures. That might be in my unfortunately that might be in my language feature branch that I've been working on. Um, we still have about 15 minutes left, and I played a little bit of Delver. Um, I might just go back to working on my little mod again, if that's okay with folks. I might just keep plugging away on that. But I appreciate Chris letting me show off his mod. Yeah, I'm not sure. Yeah, I'm not sure the best way to make the light go off, Chris. It might always be on. What I could do is I could look at the attached properties and remove them, but I'm not sure if that's always the desirable behavior in the case of breaking an item. Okay, so, okay, that's cool. Ba, 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 ba. Let's, so back to mods. Let's delete Hyperlight Delver for the time being. Let's go ahead and copy back this guy. I'm just gonna keep noodling around in the editor and making weird stuff. And um, folks, if you have questions, if there's anything you want to see in these last 15 minutes of my stream, please let me know. I'll be happy to talk about or show whatever. So Nymphis, we do have the code to switch out the texture. It wasn't hard to do. Um, that's already done. It's just not in the current it's not in the current update available to the public, but we do have it in source control. I guess I was talking about. So what happens is when you break an item, we swap out the texture. That's one thing. We also look at the weapon, and if there's any enchantments on it, we remove the enchantments. And how Chris made that sword light up is for any entity, you can attach other entities to it. And I'm not sure if when an item breaks, if we should look at all the attached entities and remove them, or what's the correct thing to do there. Nice. Um, this textures, I'm digging it. It's cool. What else could we do? Like, I mean, obviously we could do some more models. I think right now the railing model is good, but maybe get maybe some pipes to kind of support this too might help. I could just keep noodling around with textures too. Like, I guess the more texture variety, the better. Um, yeah, the floor could use some love. Oh, I see. Nymph is suggesting swapping out the item. Yeah, in some ways that might be more flexible. Um, I've kind of thought about that. Right now, we've just ended up swapping out the texture because it's a little bit easier to make. Okay. Okay, 10 minutes left. Let me just floor texture because we have this grate which kind of works well for many things, but I don't know if it always works great or great, haha, works well for the floor. Let me, like, it might be cool to stick the grate up. Also, the ceiling texture uses it too, so got to be mindful of that. Yeah, this floor is just too repetitive. Maybe some sort of tech floor or something. Because Doom had a cool hexagonal pattern. I don't know if I want to rip off Doom directly, but it was a cool. It was nice to have a darkly colored patterned floor. Um, right now, I don't have a lot of colors. I think I have like maybe a dozen tops. Um, it might be easier to implement that in some ways, but it also means that for every item, I have to go, instead of adding another additional property, I have to create a duplicate item to switch it to, which is instead of adding one property to all the items, I'd be duplicating all the items. So that may be okay, or maybe I could be cheap instead of having when you break something, it could instead of having a unique thing per item, just have it go to one broken thing. Not sure. Yeah, it's something definitely. It's a cool suggestion. It's definitely something to think about. Yeah, why not? Why not go hexagons? Okay, tiling hexagons. How would that work? Indeed, Chris, hexagons are the building blocks of science fiction. Now, just trying to get them to line up correctly might be a little work. Let's see. But it shouldn't be too bad, I don't think. We'll see. Oh, goodness. Okay. Now I feel like I'm fitting these hexagons together incorrectly. Let me just real quick Google hex grid so I'm not messing things up too terribly. Yeah, they should the spacing is incorrect. Let me let me let me just play around with just these. These should go like that, and this should go like that-ish, but I need to make sure. Okay, that looks correct-ish. Yep. Reference is good, people. Make sure to use reference, otherwise your stuff looks wrong. And you're not always smart enough to know why. At least I'm not. I think I need to fix how big this is. Okay. Yeah, pixel edit is also good. Is also a good thing to do for building tile sets. Um, just trying to find. Yeah, they got all kinds of scale problems going on. Unfortunately, I'm just gonna smash these until it works. Yuck, yuck, yuck. There has to be a better pixel way to do nice hex grid. I'm almost 100% certain I'm not the first person to try to do this. Um, da, 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 da. That's a cool sprite. Yeah, thanks for sharing with that. Yeah, this may work. Or not. Okay, that tiles correctly. Which this, actually, this might actually be okay. Let me, do something like that. And I think if I merge these bottom three, that's that. And then I can make a selection here, and I can bump it over, holding Alt. Okay. And let me merge those down. Do something like that. Looking better. And there's still something here on the edges that, so I need to, do these actually work correctly though? Let me see if I, yeah, that's not right now. Oh well, so it looks like this is the end of the stream. I'll figure out this hex stuff, I promise, and I'll keep on working getting this example mod to a good spot, and then I'll put it at the GitHub, and I'll talk about it next stream. Thank you everybody. Um, we've had a pretty productive stream. I got to show off, well, I got to show how to make mods, and I'm still working on getting this example dungeon mod done. I don't want to do too much, but I want to do enough so folks know what they're doing when making their own dungeon area. Thank you to Chris for showing off his Hyperlight Delver mod, or letting me show it off. It was pretty cool. I want to thank you for supporting me, for all of you folks who have bought my game Delver. Thank you very much. That directly supports me trying to become a sustainable developer, and it helps put food in my family's mouth, so I appreciate that. Also, thank you everybody who watches the stream. I really look forward to every Sunday. It is the highlight of my day. So if you don't know and you're coming late to the stream, every Sunday I stream development every Sunday at noon Pacific. So whatever time that is for you, I will be here. If not, generally I'll give you a heads up, usually a day or so before if something comes up. Also, if you are interested in what I do, I also do bonus streams as time permits. So if you follow me here on Twitch at Joshua Skelly or Twitter at Joshua Skelly, I'll let you know when bonus streams come up. It basically just happens whenever I have free time. I'll throw out a tweet and I'll start streaming and working. Those usually tend to happen lately in midday because I have a daycare for my son now. But again, thank you everybody. I had a great time, and I will see you, if not next week, next Sunday in a few days. Take care.